for them when they were charged with murder. For 9 months, they were in committee. I've been to committee myself. It is not a hotel. And the reason why they were arrested was because at Central Park, a policeman, special branch, was killed at the Central Park near the Serena Hotel. And this policeman made the mistake because he was not in uniform. And people saw him draw a gun. So the crowd jumped on him, and he was literally pulled apart and died a very painful death at Central Park. Now, instead of doing proper investigations, what the police did was to look at the people who attended that rally, and they were looking at people who were generally with Raila Odinga or Jaramogi at that time, and that is why they were arbitrarily arrested. Even my own driver, who is here, Michael Kuma, was also arrested. The man I've known for years in the street, known as Dodd Kenyatta, he was there. Lumumba Owade, who had just spoken, was there. There were nearly 9 of them. Your Excellency, what helped that case was there was a policeman who recorded his statement in English. And then when we went to court, after he had been sworn to say the truth and nothing but the truth, when he was shown the statement and asked which language he was going to speak in, and he said he is going to speak in Swahili. Unfortunately, his statement was in English. So when I started asking him questions in English, the judge then, Okubasu, insisted that he must answer in English. That there cannot be a policeman who was a superintendent of police who did not understand the English language. So every time I put him a question and read his statement, all the time he was saying, hiyo si mambo yangu, mimi sikusema hiyo. So ujinga ya huyo polisi ndio ilifanya hawa wenzetu wakatoka katika jela. They were found innocent, but the worst thing is that they were charged with murder. And this man Oduor would have been hanged. And it was not just one day. Lumumba here, after 8 months, again he was arrested in Bungoma, and they said they had killed the son of the former member for Ebuye, Honourable Sambu. And I used to go to Bungoma every day, very early in the morning from Nairobi. 5 of them were charged during a by-election. Most of those young men died. The veterans who were taken to committee, nearly 3 of them are dead. But what am I trying to say? And you have said it before at one time, that the weaponization of the criminal justice system should stop. The police should not be used to make up trumped-up charges. This young man at that time, he was in prison for 9 months on trumped-up charges because he was a freedom fighter, and that's why he was being arrested and charged with the offense of murder. And I thank God that policeman, he wrote a statement in English, but somebody wrote it for him, and then when he was being questioned in court, he said no, he didn't know. There was a time when Jaramogi was called upon to go and give a statement at the CID concerning the death of Julie Ward. I think, Raila, you remember this because there's a young man who had gone into exile and had talked to Jaramogi. And Jaramogi made a statement. Instead of investigating that case, they now called Jaramogi to make the statement. And It was not an easy time at that time. So what I'm trying to say, let us build a society which is based on the Constitution and the rule of law. We can say many things. And me, I cannot be praise singing, because we fought for a democratic constitution where people should talk, where people should talk, where people should talk. I was in parliament when people used to tell Moi that Moi hakuna mahali utaenda, you will be in power until the day you want to go. They told Moi, and I was in parliament at that time. To keep. And if you keep on, song praising all the time, we will not have a country. So I urge you, tell your leaders the truth. Tell your leaders the truth. And know that, even when, President, when you came here the first time, I was the only one who was here. I was the only one. I was here because I was convinced that institutions must work. A lot of, even Otiende here said he cannot come. I tried to persuade him. I was here alone with you because I don't praise, song praise. I believe that you are the president and we are going to talk. So this country will please, when you have something being brought to Siaya, it is a matter of right. It is not you are being given, it's a matter of right. It's a matter of right. And I cry. When I was in parliament, I was the only backbencher. I was here with Omamo, I was with Okero, there were other people like Okwanyo, and they used to tell me that you must be in government. All of us cannot be in government. Just fight for your right. Just fight for your right. And you'll have a better country. Asante sana, kwa hayo machache, I call upon Raila Amolo Odinga to come and speak.
Hallelujah.
Haya, unaweza kuketi. Your Excellency, Mheshimiwa William Ruto, the President of the Republic of Kenya, the governors, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, hamjambo. Hamjambo tena. Yes. I first want to begin by thanking everybody who has come here today to help us do a send-off to George Oduor. It is very, very painful and it's very difficult for me to talk about George. But first let me begin by bringing condolences from Mama Aida, my wife, who cannot be here today because she's on a mission in Korea. That's why she's not here. George is a part of our family. And you see, it is now 10 years since I lost our first son, Fidel. And now George is gone. It's so painful indeed. If you say somebody is ready to take a bullet for you, George, I've known few people who can be as committed and dedicated like this young man. We have had, as they have said, a very difficult time. Sometimes George is a very cool person and very intelligent, very observant. You think he's a fool when he's next to you, but he's thinking very deeply. So when he comes and tell you, this place is not safe, let's get out, you must get out very quickly. So it is very painful indeed. George worked for me. He did not work for Jaramogi. Just very briefly, Jaramogi was very briefly around there. When we recruited George, we sent him for training to South Africa. And in South Africa he trained and was top of his class as a security officer. You can see his reports. Later on we sent him to Israel. Again he trained in Israel for 3 months on security. If you look at his reports, very, very, very exemplary. So he was a very highly trained officer. He even trained in the United States. He knows how to sense trouble. He feels it and he wants you. This is going to happen. This is going to happen. So we knew each other so closely, so well with George, and we've traveled around the world with him. Are they 7 continents? We've been with George to 5 continents, except Arctic and Antarctica. We've been all of those places. And he's so familiar with many other things. When you go to a place within a short period of time, he has moved around and he has scouted and know where the danger is. So it is painful. But the other people you've seen here, they call the veterans. Veterans, wasimami. Those people there. Hello? Veterans, fungeni mkono. These are the people who have been with us. There's very many. They are battle hardened. Asanteni sana. Ni hao watu ambao wamekuwa pamoja na George throughout all this period of time. So we have lost a son in our family, and we are very sad indeed. Mama Carol here has kept George. She has looked after George very well. George was all the time very smartly dressed when he comes to work. Thanks to Carol. Yeah. So I thank all of you for coming here today. Now today is not my day to make a long speech. I don't want to make a speech. But wacha niseme hivi. Kenya hii iko hapa na itabaki. Dunia ni daima, lakini binadamu haishi dunia daima. Kwa hivyo Kenya ni moja peke yake. Mpaka tulinde Kenya, na vile vile tubadilishe Kenya. Na Kenya italindwa na itabadilishwa na Wakenya, si mtu wengine. Kwa hivyo Wakenya mpaka wasimame pamoja. Yale ambayo hatutaki ni ubaguzi. Ubaguzi ya kijinsia, ubaguzi ya rangi, ubaguzi ya kikabila, ubaguzi ya huyu ni mzee, huyu ni kijana, huyu ni mama, huyu ni mlemavu, hatutaki. Tunataka kuunganisha Kenya wawe kama kitu kimoja. Hiyo ni muhimu sana. Pili, neno yangu ya pili, Junet yari amesema, tulipigania kwa nguvu na dhati tupate katiba mpya. Kuna watu wengi ambao walikuwa hawataki katiba mpya. Sana sana walikuwa napinga sana mambo ya ugatuzi. Ugatuzi. Mmoja akatuambia ati watu wengine wanaitwa governors. To govern what? Kwa hivyo ugatuzi ilikuwa na maadui wengi zaidi. Ndio sababu kuna zingine ambayo hatukuweka. Kuna zingine ambayo ziko katika ile bomas ya kwanza draft. Lakini haziko katika hii katiba ambayo tuko nayo sasa siku ya leo. Hii katiba is still work in progress. Lakini ugatuzi ilikuwa muhimu zaidi. But devolution is not working, but devolution is still not working properly. If devolution were allowed to work properly, you will see the fruits of devolution. Go to Germany and see how a devolved system works. Very, very efficient indeed. You know, we did not, for example, devolve education. But in most of devolved systems, education is devolved up to secondary school. The reason why we did not devolve devolution was because of NAT. NAT walipinga wakasema ati NAT itakufa kama devolution education is devolved. Tutamobilize walimu kupinga hii katiba. That's why we did not devolve education. But even if it's not devolved, Mr. President, it can be delegated. Some functions can be delegated. See, that is not need there. They opposed the devolution of education system. But even the other one, infrastructure. Your Excellency, I'm the one who was Minister for Roads and Public Works, came up and created these agencies, Kenha, Kura, and Kera. Because of the bureaucracy at that time, things were so centralized under the Minister of Education, the permanent secretary is the accounting officer. Things were very inefficient, were not working. So with the World Bank, we worked together and created these agencies. But that was under a unitary system of government. With a devolved government, there's no need for Kura and Kera. Kura and Kera should be under the counties. It does not make any sense that somebody is sitting in Nairobi and has got roads in Mombasa town. Somebody is sitting in Nairobi and has got roads in Kisumu which cannot be touched by the government. Within Nairobi town itself, city itself, so many roads there are not under Nairobi county government. They're under national government. That's why it's so inefficient. It's so inefficient. Let us devolve funds to the counties. And as I was told the MPs, and I disagree. CDF, national government, give that CDF national government, but to the counties, not the MPs. Fuel levy. Members of Parliament, Your Excellency, have no business constructing roads. The role of a member of Parliament is clearly stated. Representation, legislation, and oversight. How do you oversight when you yourself are actually implementing? Those funds should go to the counties. And if the governors mess up with those things, then we deal with the governors themselves. But they don't tie the hands of governors. And then MPs go and say, mimi ndio nimejenga barabara hii, mimi nimejenga barabara hii, nimejenga shule hii, niko hospitali hii, governor hajafanya chochote. Because the governor has not been given the money. Give the money to the governors. Let devolution work properly. And that's why I say that if they don't do it, we will make it an election subject. members of parliament, so that members of parliament should allow to do their work and then do oversight, which is your constitutional duty. That is what I wanted to say today. I don't want to make a long speech. My brother, Mheshimiwa Rais wa Jamhuri ya Kenya, karibu, ongea na hawa watu yako.
Aya, asanteni sana. Tafadhali tuketi. Mama Karen, mjane wa rafiki yetu George Oduor, Mheshimiwa Raila Odinga, kiongozi wetu wa chama ya ODM na Prime Minister wa Republic of Kenya, viongozi wote wengine, wananchi wa hapa Siaya, hamjambo. Amoso ujo durua. Nyasaye ber. Sejete. Bwana Yesu asifiwe. Asanteni sana. Kwanza mimi nataka nichukue nafasi hii on behalf of the government of Kenya and on my own behalf and my family to bring condolences to Mama Karen and the family of George Oduor, a man we have come here to celebrate today. And I have come here not because George is elected in any capacity or wields any public position, but I have come here because George has demonstrated beyond any doubt that he is a Kenyan who has demonstrated competence as a security officer. He has demonstrated competence and integrity as a confidant, and he has shown immeasurable loyalty as a Kenyan patriot entrusted with the security, especially that of the Honourable Raila Odinga. And therefore, on behalf of many Kenyans, we have come here to celebrate a man, a competent police officer, a confidant with great integrity, and a loyal patriot as a security officer of the Republic of Kenya. And George, though being a very humble security officer, and because I believe very strongly in the bottom-up principle, that's why I have come here to celebrate this humble person who has demonstrated great loyalty, integrity, and competence. So, to the family, Mama Karen, tumekuja hapa kumwenzi huyu shujaa, mtu ambaye alijitolea. It is very difficult when I saw the comments of our Prime Minister about George, that he was a person you can entrust with many things, including money. You know how difficult it is to trust people with money. this is one person that Prime Minister could trust with many things, including money. And therefore, we have come here to celebrate a man of integrity, a competent police and security officer, and a man we all celebrate. Allow me to use this occasion of George, because I also came to know George as a member of ODM then. And we were in many places together. And somebody said here, I benefited also from his security services, and that is true. Whenever we went to situations as members of ODM that time, George was on hand, and many of the people I have seen here, including Lumumba, who I thought was a security officer, I now know that he is an elected MCA. And allow me to use this occasion to thank my elder brother, the Honourable Raila Odinga. I have come a very long way with the Honourable Raila Odinga. And I want to stand here today and to say, I did not know that the man I stood by and gave my all at a moment in my life, we would eventually become competitors, and that he would eventually come and anchor my leadership. And so, the Honorable Prime Minister, I want to tell you, I am truly grateful that just the same way I stood with you when you needed a man to stand with you, you have equally come to stand with me when I needed a man to stand with me. I am truly grateful. And I want to say this for the avoidance of any doubt, that when Baba here came to stand with me, it was not about him. It was not about his interests. It was not about parochial or sectarian or narrow interest. It was about the greater interest of Kenya. And history is going to judge the Honorable Raila Odinga fairly, that whenever there is an opportunity to stand for the nation, he has always stood for the nation. The Honorable Raila Odinga, I am very, very proud that our paths crossed and we have come this journey together. Let me say this to all of us. In this journey of nation building, everybody has a contribution to make in different ways. I am happy that today I am the leader of this broad-based government that I agreed with my brother Raila Odinga. And broad-based is not about the interests of any one of us. It's not about the interest of Baba here or my personal interest. It's about the interest of 45, 50 million Kenyans. And I will say this without any fear of contradiction, that because of our coming together, because of forging this relationship that has stabilized the country, that has created inclusivity, eliminated the things that divide us, and the negative ethnicity that threatens our country. Today, we can proudly say our economy is stable. The dollar, which was at 160, is now at 129 shillings. Inflation, which was at 9.6%, is now at 3.5%, because we have come together and we are working together. I can proudly say, without fear of any contradiction, that whether it is our electricity, and I am very proud of what Opiyo Wandayi has said. Today, we have resources spread around Kenya. This Siaya alone has 1.2 billion shillings to connect close to 15,000 new households. Something that has not happened before. It has happened under broad-based. Because we are conscious about leaving no part of Kenya behind. I am very proud that in the last 2 weeks, we have released, for the first time, 60 billion shillings to our roads. 4.6 billion has come to this region. And the 9 roads in this Siaya, all the contractors will now go back, because we have done what we have done together. And because we have put the country ahead of Raila's interests, of William Ruto's interests. And that is the moment that this country needs. That is the moment that this country needs. We can have the best constitution. We can have the best election. But if we don't have the right psyche and the unity of purpose, ethnicity, division can. And therefore, I want to say to you, my brother Raila Odinga, that what you have done is what has enabled me even to do what we are doing in our housing, our markets, our infrastructure. And I want to say that our nation, Kenya, has consistently been undermined by division that undermines the national interest. And there is absolutely every reason for us to find it in ourselves how to forge unity for purposes of the nation. Kwa hivyo mimi nataka niseme leo nimekuja hapa kuungana na familia ya ndugu yangu Raila Odinga. Huyu George ni mtu ambaye alitusaidia, hata na mimi nilifaidika wakati tulikuwa pamoja katika ODM. Na nimesikia Sifuna anaongea na nguvu. Wakati unaongea mambo yangu Sifuna, ujue mimi ndio mwanzilishi wa ODM. So unaenda polepole kidogo. Yes. Sisi ndio tulianza hii kitu. Ama namna gani? Na unajua ukinisukuma sana nitaitisha mkutano ya founder members ya ODM. Si ndio? Unajua tukiitisha hiyo mkutano tunaweza kufanyia discipline sisi ambao tulianza chama. Si ndio? So twendeni mosmos. Ile kitu mimi nataka niwaambie ni kwamba vile ndugu zangu wameongea hapo mbeleni, sio lazima sisi wote tuwe katika ndani ya serikali. Ni kweli. Lakini nani alisema kuna watu wamechaguliwa wawe wanakaa tu nje ya serikali all the time? Kuna mtu alisema kuna watu wamepangiwa kukaa nje ya serikali miaka yote? Hapana. And that is why, tuambiane ukweli, that is why baba na mimi tuliketi chini tukasema it is time for us to work on a formula that brings inclusivity and brings all of us to appreciate that it is not necessary for one to get out for one to be in. Sio lazima mtu atoke ndani ya serikali ndio mwingine aingie. Na ndio tulikataa ile maneno ya wale walikuwa wanatupangia mambo ya shares, kusema kuna watu permanently wanafaa kukaa nje, ni kupaguliwa miaka yote. And that is why I am confident and I speak straightforward that we must get rid of the politics of ethnicity, division, ile siasa ambayo ni ya ukabila, siasa ya chuki, siasa ya kubagua watu wengine. Hiyo siasa tunataka kuondoa katika taifa letu la Kenya. Na inawezekana my friends, inawezekana sisi wote tuchangie katika kuendesha serikali ya Kenya. Inawezekana. That is why that's what broad-based has taught us. It has taught us that we can be together, that others must not be out for others to be in. We can all be there. Sasa niwaulize, simzee baba yetu hapo Oburu ameongea, amesema anataka watu wa hapa share yao, na hiyo share yao sio share ya watu wengine. Kila mtu atapata share yake. Therefore it is possible for us, watu ya bara wapate share yao, watu ya mlima wapate share yao, watu ya bonde wapate share yao, watu wa hapa wapate share yao. It is possible for us to have a nation where all of us partake of the national resources and national development. And we must get rid, and I agree with Junet, we must get rid of the past formulas that skews development to one part and against other parts. We must do it right. And that is why hata huyu chairman wetu sasa wa budget, huyu mungwana Atandi, mimi namwambia Atandi, hata kama wewe sasa ndio utapanga mambo ya budget, uhakikishe na sitakuruhusu ubague mtu yeyote. Upange vizuri, kila mtu apate haki yake. That's what we want. Tunaelewana jameni? Si mnasema tupange pamoja? So tuendelee namna hiyo, tushirikiane namna hiyo, tupangane pamoja. Na katika hii harakati baba amesema ya kwamba lazima tupange mambo ya devolution ikae vile tulikuwa tumeikusudia. Kumekuwa na msukumano na mvutano. Even as we talk today, National Assembly na county governments wamepelekana kotini kwa sababu ya kuvutana. We must have a conversation as to where are the limits, so that we can allow Parliament to do what they're supposed to do, allow governors and county governments to do what they are supposed to do, so that we can move the country forward together. So tunataka tushirikiane hivyo, tufanye kazi pamoja, na mimi niko tayari kushirikiana na sisi wote. Na mimi naamini ya kwamba kati yangu, kati ya team ambayo mimi naongoza na ile team baba anaongoza, we are going to make this country great. And united together, Sisi tumesema kama ni kazi ya barabara. I have just said here, and John Buddy is my minister, that out of the 60 billion we have raised, for the first time, this region is getting almost 5 billion shillings. And it is because they have few roads. We are going to build that into the future. And we cannot deny, we will be living in denial if we don't correct the mistakes of the past by making sure that we balance the country and balance the development of the country. So I want to invite all of us, yes, wote, tushirikiane, tukubaliane, and criticism is mimi sasa nyinyi mnaniambia Ruto must go. Mimi nimesikia hiyo mara nyingi. Kulikuwa na Moi must go, kulikuwa na mwingine must go, kulikuwa na mwingine must go. Hii must go ni wimbo tu ya kawaida, there is no problem. Ndio shida iko wapi? So there is no problem. Mara wananiita sijui nini Zakayo, mara Kasongo, mara nini. I am not bothered. Hii ni majina tu ya kawaida, lakini I am focused. I am focused. We must get our education right, and I am very proud of what we are doing with our education. We must get our electrification right. We must get infrastructure right, and we must handle devolution properly so that we can all move the country forward. And I welcome any assistance from anybody so that we can make Kenya great. That is my mission, that is my commitment, and we are going to do this together. Tumekubaliana jameni? Munasema tushirikiane ama munasema tutengane? Tushirikiane pamoja, tujenge Kenya pamoja, tuache ubaguzi, tuache ukabila, tuache chuki. Huyu George ambaye amelala hapa, he would have agreed with us. Government of Kenya, and on my own behalf and my family,